I'm Jim Spencer. I'm the Executive Director of the Bluefield, West Virginia Economic Development Authority. And as many of you are aware, we have Intuit through their Prosperity Hub program here in Bluefield. One of the other communities that they have a Prosperity Hub in is Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And over the past year, we've been able to get acquainted with the folks at Johnstown. They're doing some of the same things that we are with entrepreneurial programs. There's a lot of similarities between Bluefield, West Virginia and Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And recently I've had the privilege to meet Mike Artim, who is the president of Intrignia, a real estate development and consulting company that currently owns and operates Balanced Restaurant and Mission Inn event space in downtown Johnstown. Intrignia is currently developing 6 adjacent properties for additional restaurants, entrepreneurship activities, retail, office space, and apartments. He brings more than 25 years of executive management experience to Intrignia with a strong background in technology, education, and community engagement. Mike, welcome to Bluefield virtually, and we're hoping that have you come to Bluefield soon. But if you, I know you work a lot with entrepreneurs, and what caused you to become an entrepreneur many years ago?
Well, I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. I had a long career in education, 30 years. And when I left there, I was really looking for the next thing to do in my life. And entrepreneurs come in all shapes and sizes and backgrounds and age groups. And we decided that we wanted to open up a restaurant in downtown Johnstown. There was an empty restaurant that had been through 3 or 4 owners and had not been successful. And being community involved, I really wanted to do something to help revive downtown Johnstown. So we decided to go out on a limb and start a restaurant. Hired a really good culinary team. That culinary team really handled everything with the food and help them with the budgeting, but they do all the great work that makes the restaurant successful. And it was a challenge for me. I went from a very steady 9-to-5 job to something where it's different when you're an entrepreneur and you're your own boss and you're your own success or failure. But it's been very, very rewarding. When you really enjoy what you're doing, it's not like going to work every day. And I really wish I would have started earlier. You think about all the risk involved with it, but once you get involved in becoming an entrepreneur and chasing your passions, you realize all the rewards too.
Mike, I know that you're an entrepreneur yourself, but you also coach entrepreneurs in the Johnstown area. What advice do you have for an entrepreneur today, especially with COVID?
For me, whenever I talk to someone who's interested in starting their own business, I talk to them about the passion they have for doing that. The one thing about being an entrepreneur is, if it's something you really love to do, something you're passionate about, you can overcome the obstacles that are probably in your mind right now that you're thinking of. I don't have enough resources. I don't want to take the risk. I don't have this. I don't have that. Those answers all come to you if you're following the passion that you have. If you're worrying, it's not about the how, it's about the why. You'll figure out the how if you have a very strong why I want to do this. For us, we wanted to help reinvent downtown Johnstown and create great food for people. As long as we focused on that, we found our success. And entrepreneurs can do that too, but they have to be all in with that being the passion and what they want to spend their life doing.
If you were going to start over as an entrepreneur with all the lessons you've learned, what would you do differently?
2 things. I think I underestimated the amount of reserve we needed to have because it takes a while to get your feet under you. So you have all these great projections of how well you're going to do when you open the doors, but that projection is probably 3 or 4 months down the road. So you need a little bit of that reserve to get you through those times. So you're figuring out how to get going and really to find the sweet spot of really what works for you. And the second thing is I probably would have saved money on some of the things that I did. We all have a picture of what a fully grown company looks like. And I think entrepreneurs have a tendency to try to get there day one. When we opened up our second restaurant, we separated into what do we need to have, what do we want to have, what we like to have. We started out by getting the needs done and opening up, and then we worked on those other pieces. There were some things we didn't need out of the gate to begin with, and that money could have been used for that reserve. So that you have that 3, 4, 5 months to really get going. Because I think most entrepreneurs underappreciate that initial startup. And that really, those are the 2 things that I would have changed from the beginning. What we changed when we opened up our second restaurant.
Mike, I thank you for being with us. We're using this to celebrate National Entrepreneurship Week, which Mike is talking about coming to Bluefield. Maybe we can have another event with Mike here speaking to some of our entrepreneurs here. And we're looking at ways to partner. So Mike, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we're definitely going to take this idea and use it here in Johnstown next year. It's fantastic to celebrate national entrepreneurship this way. Thank you very much for having me.